Heyo gamers, welcome back to another Duck of the Stars video. You probably know by the title already what this is. It is, in fact, my game collection video. I haven't done these for a couple of years now. I think maybe 2023 was the last time I got to do that. But, you know, there's really no better time than now because within the week I will be gone from my current apartment complex. And not really sure where I'm going to go after that. You know, I have plans, but plans can change. But what is clear to me is this will be the last time I will be able to do this kind of collection video for a long time. And I haven't done it the last couple of years because I've been lazy. Admittedly, I've just been lazy. But you know, I figured what better way to leave than to celebrate the life I'm leaving behind, with all of the pain and the discomfort that came with that life. You know, there's quite a bit I never got to show on this channel. You'll see this whole retro setup. I intended to make videos on it, but I just couldn't. You know, I wasn't in the right headspace. Nor did I really have the time to do so. But now I do, as I'm packing everything up. You know, literally as I'm recording this video, these games and these consoles are getting packed up. I'm ready to sit there for God knows how long. So you know, let's celebrate a version of me that's dying. But like, you know, all post-mortem celebrations, it's one that celebrates the life of said person, or in this case, this version of me. This isn't to say that I will ever, or that I'm like done with YouTube, or with the game collecting either. No. These aren't getting sold. They're not getting scrapped. They're, you know, it's all still a part of my collection, but I am just unsure of, as of now, how you know, how much of that will get to stay in my immediate vicinity, wherever I go next. So with that kind of downer in mind, we're gonna start, as we always do, at the very beginning. And I'm pretty sure just about every single console has I want to say at least one new game to it from the last time that I did this. And my cat is here, so forgive any audio problems. We're gonna start, as always, with the Famicom and the Famicom disk system. I'm just gonna leave that right here while I show off the games. And we got a crazy amount of games. We got Super Mario Brothers. And technically, if we're going in order, then Super Mario Brothers 3. And you might ask, John, where's Super Mario Bros. 2? I haven't forgot about that. And this is the only Famicom disk system game that I have, unfortunately. I actually do really quite like the zip disk design, and of course, I mean, you'll see that later too. Any of you guys who have watched my videos for long enough know how much I love my zip disks. But that is all I have for the Famicom and the Famicom disk system, which is, again, it's sad, but like, I'm in the US, you know, it's hard to come across these games. And actually, most, I think actually, no, all of these I got, at least all the Famicom games I got here in the US, and they are legit copies. This one I did have to order from Japan. And a lot of you might ask, what is a Famicom? You know, for those of you who have been left under the dust, you know, those of you who aren't avid game collectors, that's fine too. The Famicom is the Japanese version of what we got in Europe and the US, which was the Nintendo Entertainment System. It looks quite different. Of course, the cartridges, as you'll see, look very different, but they are in fact the same console. And it takes a very small adapter to get one of these games to play on one of these, believe it or not. So let's take a look at my Nintendo Entertainment System collection. We have, okay, it's just Bandai Golf Challenge Pebble Beach. I don't think I've ever even put this one in my NES. I think I got it because it was like $1, and I got like a 5 for 5 deal. It's the only thing that I didn't have that wasn't just like total junk. I mean, it still kind of is, but hey, you know, it might be a good game, so I shouldn't shit on it. We have Battletoads. We have Burger Time. Shit. Ooh, hey, that's not in the right spot. Why is that so out of order? What? All right, we're gonna make sure we do this in the proper order. We have Dr. Mario. I have a very fun story about this game. I think I still have the unlisted video. I bought one of these on Amazon. Didn't work on my console. Worked on like multiple other consoles that I tried it on, but not mine. So I had to return it and get this copy instead, which does work. Hope anyways. The first game I ever got on the NES, Excite Bike, which of course is a classic. Ah, yes. Karate Champ. I don't know which of you guys have ever played this game, but it's I think it's pretty fun. You know, as far as old school beat 'em ups go, or like fighting games, it was pretty decent. Okay, here's where this goes. The classic dual cartridge Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. Then on top of that, I have Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt and World Class Track Meet, the triple cartridge. Fortunately, I don't have either or like any of these individually. That's something I've kind of kept my eye out for, but those tend to be a lot more expensive. We have Super Mario Brothers 2. A lot of these are out of order. I'm realizing that now. We have Super Mario Brothers 3. Okay, and out of order, this one I got in a game store in Seattle. I was very, very excited to see that there are so many retro game stores there. You Seattleites, you guys are like spoiled over there. I'm so jealous. But Star Tropics, and that goes before all of the Super Mario games because T comes before you, right? Yeah, it does. It does. T comes before you. Now, S comes before T. So next we have The Legend of Zelda. Fight Me. It starts with a T. I don't care what the English rules say about alphabetizing. It's not Legend of Zelda. It's The Legend of Zelda. And that's how we abbreviate it too. It's not LOZ. It's TLOZ. Fucking Fight Me. We have Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. That's wrong too, because it's Zelda 2. Alright. It's not The Legend of Zelda 2. I probably just put them together. You know, I mean, obviously, like, I don't have to explain why I put them together. And then we have Top Gun. And Top Gun Second Mission. Believe it or not, it's actually better than the first one. Although I do prefer the first one, you know, both of them being known as really bad games. But I enjoy them, you know, they're part of my childhood, so I enjoyed growing up with them. So with that, we are going to move on, of course, to the Super Nintendo and the NES, SNES. I'm going to redo that. I originally was just going to say outright what I was going to do, but I notice in my videos that I tend to say, okay, the next one is blank. And then I start the next video, or the next clip. Here is blank. Yeah, no shit, I just said that. Alright, so that's all for NES and Famicom. And Famicom Disk System. I just so happen to drop all of my games before starting this video, so hopefully it's not too far out of alphabetical order. But that's not really going to matter because, you know, they're all going in boxes anyways. Better to keep them that way if possible. So we're going to start with the Super Famicom, and you guys are going to see something. I mean, you've seen it in my shorts. You're going to see something way cool. Ooh, hey, this is not filled in properly. Let's do that because I don't want this thing getting hurt. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So this is the Super Famicom and Satellaview, including that little brittle brown piece at the bottom. That was really hard to find. However, this was the most recent like add-on, or at least for Nintendo consoles and in general that I've received. Now I do plan on making a video on all four. Oh, there's my cat in the background. I do plan on making a video on all four of these add-ons, but we'll have to see if that comes to fruition. It will at some point. I just don't know when. So the Super Famicom and the Satellaview. What do we have in store for them? Put these guys right here. Oh, and I forgot to put in away these Famicom games. It's my bad. Okay. So starting off, we got Donkey Kong Country. Oh wait, no, that's SNES, not Super Famicom. Starting off for Super Famicom, and I'm sorry for just like destroying your ears with this. We have the what's it called? Yeah, I don't know enough kanji. I believe that we just call this in the US the BSX cartridge. Normally you'd put little games in here so you could play those satellite games. Looks quite similar to a Game Boy player, but very, very different. Unfortunately, I do not have any of these games. Those go for way more than I was willing to shell out at the time. Hopefully, maybe they've gone down in price. And then, finally, my Super Famicom games. Donkey Kong. This is actually Super Donkey Kong. Same thing as Donkey Kong Country. But, of course, in Japanese. We have Super Mario Kart. And Super Mario RPG. You can kind of see the theme here with what Nintendo was doing at the time. And you will definitely see that as well with the Super Nintendo, which is what we got here in the United States. Now, a cool little fun factoid for you. The European, if you are from Europe, you already know this, but the European version is also called the Super Nintendo, but it has the shell of the Super Famicom. So all three regions got essentially a different console. Although these, you know, all of these are very close to each other cartridge-wise. In fact, you can usually just like take the back off the cartridge if you want to play a Super Famicom game on here. I don't think the same goes for Super Nintendo, because I do believe, yeah, the Super Nintendo cartridge is just a little too large and square. You know, even though the cartridge itself is probably the exact same. If I had to wager, maybe that's something I should do, since I have, as you guys saw, Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo. So that could easily be something I test, right? Like, I should do that. I might do that. That'd be a good video idea. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, usually considered one of the worst ones because in Japan it's called Final Fantasy USA, I believe. It was Final Fantasy dumbed down enough for us stupid Americans to comprehend an RPG, which of course just makes it not fun for anyone. Ooh. Here we have King of Dragons. I don't think I've ever put this in my Super Nintendo. I got a lot of these from an old high school friend of mine. So if you're watching this, man, thank you. I really do appreciate all the games you gave to me. I promise you they're being taken well care of, or taken. I am taking very good care of them. And I will continue to, no matter where I go. They will be safe and well preserved. Here we have Madden 96. This is when the Madden series started up. I'm still shocked they even made a Madden 96 for Super Nintendo. The only complete in-box game I have, Mario's Time Machine. I've talked about this one before. I'll say it again. This is an edutainment game. A lot of people hate it. As a history nerd, I actually think it's really fun. And, you know, if you actually do enjoy history, I think you'll enjoy it too. No matter what the haters say. The haters will say a lot. They'll say a lot. The other one, Mario is Missing. Same kind of deal as Mario's Time Machine. Except this time you play as Luigi, going back in time and solving history puzzles. which again, it's fun. You know, you guys just hate learning. I don't get it. And I get like gaming is supposed to avoid having to do homework, but suck it up, man. Life's about learning. Got to do it at some point. Here we have Mega Man X, on the complete opposite of the spectrum, a game that is like traditionally fun. And of course, original Mortal Kombat. Wouldn't be a Super Nintendo collection without that, although it is the censored version. NHL Stanley Cup. And let's see, PGA Golf Tour. This was, again, a lot like the Bandai Golf, where it was like 5 for 5, and I just picked it up because like I wanted the 5 for 5 deal. Okay. A classic, Shaq Fu. If you ever played Shaq Fu, it's a great game. 10 out of 10, you should check it out. And I can't believe Shaq is still in the game. Star Fox. Not much needs to be said about that one. That one was like a technical marvel at the time. Doesn't hold up too well today, but like most 3D games from that time don't. So, you know, for what it is, it's a very beautiful game. Super Mario All-Stars, which did include Mario 1, 2, and 3, remade versions from the ground up, and then the Lost Levels, which is the Japanese version of Super Mario Bros. 2. Also, for those of you who don't know, I think it's kind of common knowledge at that point, or at this point, but the Super Mario Bros. 2 we got here is not Super Mario Bros. 2. It's a reskin of a game called Doki Doki Panic. But again, I think that's like one of the most basic game collecting tips you might know. No offense if like you don't know that. That's just a cool fact. But I think most people watching this video probably will know. So, Super Mario World. And if you'll believe it or not, Super Mario World. This time with an actual like Super Nintendo cover. I wish more of these still existed because holy shit, they're hard to find. Like these, we need more sleeves. Super Empire Strikes Back. It's not Superstar. Oh, hey, there's not even a title on that one. That's fun. Super Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back. That should be before Super Mario World. And Super Mario All-Stars. That wasn't even part of the games I dropped. I don't know how that ended up happening. This is Tasmania. Again with one of these slipcovers. And you have one of these old stickers, the rental stickers. I love keeping those on. Some people prefer to take them off, and I understand it, but it's a relic. Like most of these stores don't exist anymore, as you'll see later. And then Super Mario World 2: Yoshi's Island. However, I do keep it at the end simply because Super Mario World 2 is technically the subtitle. On the actual bar itself, you'll just see Yoshi's Island. And that is everything I have for Super Nintendo and Super Famicom. So those of you who have seen my videos before know that this is the part that I love talking about. This is like my crown jewel of my collection. So of course that means we're talking about the Nintendo 64. And some of you might be wondering, what is that giant monstrosity under it? Others of you might be like, holy fucking shit, there it is. And I hope by the end of this that all of you guys will be in that second category, because that right there is the Nintendo 64 disk drive. It was an add-on planned to be released to combat the backlash Nintendo got with using cartridges while the PlayStation and Sega Saturn were using discs at that time. And so their solution, because they wanted to be still very anti-piracy, was the Nintendo 64 disk drive. And much like the Famicom disk system, it used discs, although these were zip discs. I believe the disk system had zip discs too. Of course, you guys will get to see that, so stay tuned. But we're going to go first with the regular Nintendo 64 games. 007, The World Is Not Enough. This is the only English game I have in complete inbox. Then we have Donkey Kong 64, which does require an expansion pack. Those of you who don't know what that is, there's a little thing on top of here. Let me see if... No, I won't be able to. You get what's called Jumper Pack in your Nintendo 64, and the expansion pack would allow you to play games with, I believe it was like better optimization, maybe slightly better graphics too. It just gave a little more horsepower to the machine. And only 3 games required them. I think it's only 3. And then the 64 disc drive, of course, required it because it did jump the Nintendo 64 up from a 64-bit system to a 96-bit system. At least the disc drive itself was. So it's interesting. It's like I think it's the only console that has 96 bits. Those of you who don't know what bits are, it doesn't matter. Bit wars are long gone, so you know what you need. What you need to know is that the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, 16-bit, the NES, the Sega Master System, 8-bit, PlayStation and Sega Saturn, 32-bit, Nintendo 64, 64-bit. Clearly, like, bits used to be a big thing, but it doesn't fucking matter. So we have Gex Enter the Gecko. GoldenEye 007. This is the classic that everyone remembers. Jet Force Gemini. Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. That's a classic right there. I mean, all these are classic, right? Like Madden Football 64, which I think is this console's version of Madden 96. I think. I am not sure. So I only have that and Madden 2000. I got these games in like 4th grade because I needed something to play with my friend when he came over that day, and I didn't have enough money to buy an actual multiplayer game, so we got stuck with Madden. Needless to say, we didn't play it very long. We have Mario Kart 64. This would have been a much better game to pick out for him, but I didn't have the money at the time. Now, this is an interesting one. Mario Story. This is a Japanese cassette, not a cartridge. They call them cassettes. I believe these are called cartridges. No, these are called game packs. And these are cassettes. But Mario Story. We didn't get that, or did we? We actually did. It is Paper Mario, the Japanese version. This may have been one of the other games that needed the expansion pack, now that I think about it. I guess I'll look that up later, and I'll add in a little subtitle if that's the case. But the cool thing about Paper Mario is that this still has the old Blockbuster sticker. Those of you who are also Americans will know that Blockbuster is now very defunct. I think there's like one left in the entire world, something like that. But essentially it was like a movie game rental place, and obviously rentals are now dead because we have things like Amazon and Netflix and Hulu, which made them obsolete. But, you know, a lot of people still have fond memories of those brick and mortar stores. Perfect Dark. This is one that required the expansion pack, for sure. So, yeah, maybe in that case I do have all 3 that require the expansion pack, but I'll let you know. Super Mario 64, unfortunately, with a very worn-down label, and that is my fault. I may or may not have accidentally got bleach on it. No, rubbing alcohol is what I got on it. And I am really, really bummed about that, because this was in like pristine condition when I first got it. Now, Super Smash Brothers, or if we're going by what this says, Dairanto, right? Dairanto Smash Bros. Super Smash Brothers is this used to be in pristine condition. I did not take care of it well as a kid. Very sad about that too. But one of 2 complete in box Japanese games I have. The other one I'm very, very proud of. This is Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. I believe in Japanese that is Zelda no Densetsu Majura no... Is it Kame? Anyone that speaks Japanese, I don't know, like, you know, let me know. I'd be curious. I haven't spoken Japanese in a long, long time. So I would get this out. You know what? I will. Like, for the sake of it, I know I don't have all that much time. But you guys deserve the best. And so this one is still in pristine condition. Look at that. You can still see the shine on it and everything. And then this was a bundle that came with the expansion. Oh, so this one definitely was one of them that required the expansion pack. Maybe I'm wrong about how many games required it. But this one, yes, came with the expansion pack. And yes, the Japanese version does work in an American Nintendo 64. I should mention that. This is an American system. The Japanese 64DD never came out in America. And about 10,000 units were sold in Japan. So this is one of the rarest things. This is the rarest thing in my collection. One of the most sought after collector's items from the 90s. Only 10,000 again ever sold. A lot of them we don't know the whereabouts of. Probably sitting in some random person's attic or basement or storage closet, or in the ocean. Unfortunately, because there have been like tsunamis in Japan since then. So I'm sure a lot of them are just now lost to time. But we'll get more into that in a moment. So, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Again, a classic, like a must-have for anyone with a Nintendo 64. And then Yoshi's Story. You might think of that like we don't. Oh no, we actually do get Yoshi's Story. That does line up to the American, I guess the English name. And lastly, I'm going to show off this just because it's pretty cool. This is the Adapter Wonder. To play Japanese games on the system, like you'll look at this. Here, let's just take it. Super Mario 64 and Yoshi's Story, for example. You'll look at these and you'll say, wait a minute, like this is the exact same shape, so it should be region free, right? No, because Nintendo changed the tabs. You'll see the tabs in the Japanese cassette are a little bit inward, whereas the tabs on the American game pack are on the edges. So no, if I were to try plugging this into my American Nintendo 64, it wouldn't work. There are multiple workarounds to this. Originally, I just cut out the tabs in my console. If you cut out the tabs in the console, you can easily play them, but it does kind of make it wobbly, and I didn't like the idea that more dust could get into the inside of the console. So I got the Adapter Wonder, which essentially just extends the cartridge slot, as you can kind of see here. I'll just pull it out. It just extends the cartridge slot so that you don't have to worry about playing Japanese. And this actually, fascinatingly, this is a European product. So on the back of the box here, you'll see allows most Japanese and American games to work on European consoles and vice versa. Protects the cartridge slot on the console. And, it does a pretty good job of that. I think I got mine new in box. If the previous owner had actually used it, they clearly took pristine care of it. There we go. Adapter Wonder. Now, this is the part you probably... I hope you guys are excited for. The 64DD games. So, for those of you who have never seen a 64DD game, we're going to start with... What is this? Mario Artist. And there were 4 of these games that came out. Mario Artist. This one is Communication Kit, which is communication kit. Yay for loan words. So, many of you probably have never seen one of these before. It is more like a CD jewel case, like a PlayStation or later Sega Saturn game. So here we'll have the package, or like the instruction book, and then this is what a 64DD game looks like. And usually it would come with these labels. If you have both of these labels still intact, the game sells for a lot more, typically. This is a 64DD disc. All of them look like this. There were only 9 games ever produced. That's, yeah. So I'll move this down a ways, right? Like, all you gotta do, slide it in, turn on the console. Fun fact, if you don't have a disc in or a cartridge, there is actually a boot screen. The Nintendo 64 did not have like a menu per se like the PlayStation 1 did or the Sega Saturn. The 64DD did, and it would just tell you insert a disc. You could insert a disc, but not a cartridge. Cartridges would not work. And to eject, there's just this button right here. Pretty violently ejects it. And yeah, it's a very, very secure, very well built add-on. It's just a shame that it never came out, but probably for the best too, you know. Although it would have been interesting to see how games like Ocarina of Time, Kirby 64, and others would have run if they had that extra juice from the 64DD. So this is Mario Artist Communication Kit. You could upload it to the internet. Yes, this thing did have internet via a service called RandNet. And there was actually like a modem cartridge you could play. I don't know I have that one. I don't have that, unfortunately. But you could connect to the internet, and then you could technically download and upload your designs. RandNet, of course, is now very defunct. The 64DD came out in like either late 2000 or late 2001, and it was discontinued within like a year. It sold very poorly because they did not advertise it well at all. So here is Mario Artist Paint Studio. This should, in theory, come with a mouse. Mine did not come with a mouse, unfortunately. I do have all the packaging for the mouse, but not the mouse itself. Which is a shame, but like, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. But in very good condition. I did get this with the console. This is Mario Artist. I think I said Paint Studio. Painto Stadio. Here is Mario Artist Polygon Stadio. Polygon Studio. Same thing as like Communication Kit inside. And there were 4 of these games released. I think I said that already. With that in mind, here's the 4th one right here. This is Mario Artist Taranto Stadio. Like the other ones are pretty obvious. Like Mario Artist, you create or you paint things, or you create polygons. This one's a little different. Like it takes 3D models, and with the Communication Kit, it can be 3D models that you made and puts them into like movies. You can kind of think of it like maybe Tomodachi Life, similar to what they did over there. But this one came with the, what is this called? Capture Cassetto, the capture cassette, and with a microphone. I do not have the microphone. However, I do have the capture cassette. So, oh, maybe it doesn't come with a mic. No, it should. No, it doesn't. It doesn't come with the microphone. You can get the microphone even in the US with games like Heyo Pikachu. But it's a special cassette that has, what is this, AV? No, this is component output, and a spot for the microphone to be put in. There was also a wire back here in the DD, so like you could tether the wire through the disk drive and have it come out right here. Yeah, I guess you can't even see that there. That little bump right there. That's what that's for. I may show it closer. I may not. It depends on how much time. Because again, like the real purpose of this is that I'm moving. So yeah, that's the 64 disk drive. And honestly, my favorite thing to show off. It's my it is my absolute favorite piece of Nintendo history. Oh wait. I didn't even get to show you guys the 5th game. I don't remember if I had this last time, but I do have a 5th game now, and it is SimCity 64. This is a unique SimCity game where you could actually do like street roaming. I think this was before like Google Street View, so this was pretty revolutionary at the time. That means I do have 5 of 9 games plus like the RandNet disc, which I do intend on picking up at some point. I just don't have money right now to do that. Especially because the most expensive game, Japan Pro Golf Tour, can go for around $3,000 to $6,000, which is nuts. It's absolutely insane. Okay, so with that in mind, that is the Nintendo 64 and the Nintendo 64 disk drive. After the Nintendo 64 didn't perform as well as expected because of the PlayStation and the backlash from discs, Nintendo understood that they had to switch to discs, but they weren't quite ready to go with full CDs or DVDs just yet. Again, as the Xbox was doing, as the PlayStation 2 was doing, and as the Dreamcast was doing, So Nintendo compromised again, which did bite them in the ass again with mini DVDs, which I will of course show one of them off. But they did this with the Nintendo GameCube. So this is my GameCube with a Japanese Game Boy player, and I got the Japanese version because it can match the color of the console. Let's see. I do also have, what is this? The modem, I believe. Yeah. It's the GameCube modem. Maybe it's the LAN adapter. I'm actually not sure. But you could connect not only to other consoles, but to the World Wide Web in very specific cases. The internet, remember, was not really popular until the late 2000s when it came to video games, or I guess the mid to late 2000s was when companies really embraced internet culture and the internet concept as a whole for their games. But technically, you could connect on the GameCube. I don't believe... No. One of my games you could connect at least with a LAN adapter. I don't believe any of them ever... I don't believe any of them ever actually like connected to the internet fully. But you guys now get to see my GameCube collection, which I am fairly proud of. I don't know that anything... No. There were some changes. So we're going to start with Animal Crossing, which came, if you're lucky, if you found a good copy. So here's what a GameCube mini DVD is going to look like. It lives up to the name. It's just a tiny DVD. Comes with an instruction book, sometimes some like Nintendo Power promotional ads, but Animal Crossing was one of a couple games that came with its own memory card. This is how you stored game data, because before it would just be batteries on cartridges. And so I believe both the Sega Saturn and for sure the PlayStation 1 adopted these memory cards previous generation, but Nintendo had to jump on board. So this is like a specific Animal Crossing brand one. You could get like the official GameCube brand memory cards, and on my other one, this is the first one I ever had. This is a obvious third-party one. It's kind of a... I mean, I don't like the design of the third-party ones, but you know, it's my childhood card, so you know, I can't get too mad at it or anything. So, Animal Crossing, first off. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, which came with DK bongos. I don't know if I'll end up showing those, but these are what they look like. You know, they're just bongos that you plug into the GameCube. And they do work on other games too. Probably not very well in most cases, but you can try and play like Smash Bros. With the DK bongos. Again, not very well. So here we have Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Again, this is when like movie games were really kicking off. Cool thing about this is that I have one child's movie ticket to Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I can't wait for them to put that back in theaters so I can try my hand at it. I'm gonna highly doubt it'll work, but it'll be a good bit. Same idea, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Yes, I do still have like the old sticker. I'm not gonna take that off because this store where I got it from is now defunct. And so you can fight me on that, but like I miss that store. I'm leaving every reminder of it that I can on my games. And in my hometown, their stickers still show up on so many retro games. We have Lego Star Wars, the video game. Unfortunately, in a really crappy DVD case rather than the official one. I think that's the same here for Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. You'll recognize what this turns into much later. And believe me, I do have that. Luigi's Mansion, a classic, and one I believe that's getting ported to the Switch too very soon. Very excited for that, because this was one of the launch titles of the GameCube. Very good game. This is one of the only games I ever got new in box, and this was Madden 2005. Hate to say it, but I did open it. I'm not the kind of person that leaves most games new in box unless I have multiple copies, because I buy games to play them. They're meant for. We have Mario Kart Double Dash, and I did actually get an official case for this. I think for the longest time I didn't have that, but now I do. Mario Kart Double Dash. Mario Party 5, also not in a proper case, but I did get that one knowing it was disc only. So I'll have to work on that. Metroid Prime. And then Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Very good first-person shooter games. I don't know if I'd call them revolutionary, but you know, they did influence a lot of games later on, despite the fact they were more sci-fi shooter than something like Medal of Honor or Call of Duty. This is the first game I ever got, and it's technically 2 games, Pac-Man Versus and Pac-Man World 2. One of these, you'd connect the Game Boy Advance. Someone would play as Pac-Man, the other people would play as a ghost. So it's 2 to 4 players simultaneous, and then Pac-Man World 2, it's Pac-Man World, it's a 3D platformer. And actually, might I add, a pretty damn good one. You know, they did a good job. Enough that they remade the original much later, which I do also have, so you'll get to see that later. But certain games, you know, would be put on 2 separate discs, and so you'd have the double disc format here. Not many of these games out there. I think like Metal Gear Solid 2, maybe Twin Snakes, and then otherwise I'm not sure. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, very good game. I recommend it to literally anyone who has a GameCube or a Switch, because it is out on Nintendo Switch now, and it's worth it. Trust me, it is worth it. One of the best games I've ever played, and I remember playing that through the pandemic. So like, trust me when I say that it's good. So Pikmin, and then naturally, because I have Pikmin, I also have Pikmin 2. I got these from, again, another old friend, a different old friend from high school. If you're watching this, don't worry, your games are being taken care of. Again, all the same. Like, you don't have to worry about it. They're in good hands. But of course, you knew that when you sold them to me. The best game on the GameCube is Shadow the Hedgehog. That is a joke, but actually it is a pretty cool game. The way it deals with timelines and how your choices will affect the future and the ending you get. There are like something like 10, maybe 20 endings. I think it's 10. I think it's 10 endings to the game. Sonic Heroes, and these are some of the newest ones. I only got these in like July of last year. So you guys have not seen those yet for sure. Sonic Heroes. Again, this was like Sonic's 2000s revival. You know, Sega kind of ignored Sonic during the Saturn era, and then during the GameCube, and then later like the PlayStation 2 during the GameCube, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, Xbox, during that console generation, many people would argue Sonic had a really good revival. And I will at least say he was definitely able to adapt to the 21st century at first. Nowadays, people will argue whether his games are good. I think it's fair if you say it's not, or they're not, but you know, I digress. Sonic Riders. Spider-Man. And again, this was really when like movie franchise games were at their height, and when they weren't like absolute trash yet, but like still not great. You know, they're movie adaptations or game adaptations of movies have always notoriously been shitty. But like during this era, I feel like they weren't bad. Like, so here's Spider-Man 2. I think most people would recognize a lot from these games, especially the pizza theme. I've put that in one of my videos before, so you know, a lot to be remembered from that. Here's an interesting one: Star Fox Adventures, the game that was not supposed to be a Star Fox game, but then was tampered with by Miyamoto and ended up losing a lot of its charm because it was not a Star Fox game, nor was it an original adventure anymore. It was a fun game, but I feel like they could have just gone with the original concept. Dinosaur Planet, look that up if you haven't. That's a really cool game that like is lost to time because Miyamoto turned it into Star Fox Adventures. A classic by my own standards was Super Mario Sunshine. I remember very vividly waiting for this game to come in the mail as a kid. Every day I just ask, has the mail come yet? Has the mail come yet? No, it hasn't come yet, John. It's been like 3 days. And then finally, I had given up a hope, like, it's not going to come today. I'm sick of waiting for it. And then it came that day. And then I thought, okay, well, you know, if I start gaslighting myself into saying it won't come, then it will come. I still do that sometimes. I'll admit it. You know, when something's coming in the mail, I'll still tell myself someday, it ain't gonna come today. But nowadays, you know, the predictions are pretty accurate. So here we have Super Smash Bros. Melee. It wasn't a launch title, but it was released in 2001, and it is kind of like the quintessential GameCube game. Most people will say it is the best Smash Brothers in terms of pacing. At least they used to. I don't know how people feel about Ultimate these days, but here we have Tak and the Power of Juju. I haven't actually ever played this one. That was for my ex, but you know, she's an ex, so it's for me now. Here we have The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker in a custom case, interestingly enough. You know, whoever gave it to me gave me a custom case, which actually is pretty nice, I gotta admit. But it does make me question whether or not this is an actual official sleeve or not. Maybe there's a way I can figure that out. Lastly, this is probably the rarest thing I have in my GameCube collection, is the Game Boy Player startup disc. And I believe there's like a little cover for this. I don't have that. But this, you know, even back in the day, back in 2017 when I got this, was hard to find. It was like twice, 3 times as expensive as the actual unit for the Game Boy Player itself. And I still have that old USPS envelope, because we rep the United States Postal Service here. And that's all for the GameCube. Because of Nintendo's continued refusal to actually work with discs, they really did end up screwing themselves over for a long time. Oh, there's my cat. So with this in mind, Nintendo made the full switch over to DVD discs. And they told themselves they needed a revolution. And that's what they called their next console, until they didn't, and they came out instead with the Nintendo Wii right here. This is actually my childhood console. Well, this isn't like the console I grew up with, but it is the console that I had as a child. Still a goofy name, but what are you gonna do about it, right? So here is my Wii collection, and this actually is a very special collection, not only because it's my collection of childhood games and my sister's collection of childhood games that she didn't want anymore, and my parents' collection of childhood of games when I was a child that they didn't want anymore, and also my late grandparents' collection. My grandfather, he loved, we'll call it collecting. It was definitely a little more than just collecting, but you know, because of that, I have all of their games too. So this really is kind of like an amalgamation of what my family all played. You can tell, like, there's a lot of shovelware here. You're gonna see that. But there are also a lot of games that mean a lot to me. And that I couldn't imagine myself becoming a gamer without playing first. So let's get into this, because like there's a lot. And there's a lot of duplicates too. I'm probably not going to show the duplicate. No, you know what, I will. So, talking about shovelware, first we get ABBA You Can Dance. This one came from my grandparents. I'm going to take a guess that they maybe opened this once. Some of them they never opened at all. Again, part of the collecting aspect of my grandfather. Love them though. This one is from me, the Toys R Us exclusive Bakugan Battle Brawlers. And for a long time, that was like the first game alphabetically. Then we get Blazing Angels, Squadrons of World War II. We have Boogie, and this was one of those, yeah. Oh no, this was a $3 game. good story behind that. Some of my friends and I went to a game store and we found all 3 copies of Boogie. This game, again, it's like a kind of a dancing, singing style game. Not a great game, but we found the DS, PlayStation 2, and Wii copies. So I do have all 3 of those, and that was the joke. I do have a copy of Cars Mater National Championship. I'm really going hard on the shovelware here, and a sealed copy from my grandparents. Club Penguin Game Day, or technically Disney Club Penguin Game Day. I'm gonna go on a limb and say this is not shovelware. This is actually like a fun party game. Also, one of the only remnants of Club Penguin, since Disney refuses to acknowledge that they bought that. Bullshit to me. It's a great game. And then speaking of Disney, we got Disney Channel All-Star Party, also from my grandparents. I can guarantee you they never played any of these. Sticking with like the movie title games, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. I remember this being pretty fucking bad. Maybe it's worth playing again just to remember how bad. That might be fun. We got Jillian Michaels Fitness Ultimatum 2009. Honestly, wait, oh, that actually does use the Wii Fit board. Huh. I do have a Wii Fit board. But I don't think I'm ever going to open up that game, to be quite honest with you. We have Just Dance, the original. We've got Kirby's Epic Yarn. There is Lego Harry Potter, years 1 through 4. I really should play that game again. All the Lego games, maybe I should make a dedicated video to this Lego game. I think most people have done that already, but this generation, they popped off with them, and they were all great. So like Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, or the Caribbean, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Also a great game. The first game I ever owned, Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. This is the original copy. And I do have a sealed copy of Complete Saga too. I'm almost tempted to get this graded, not because I believe in graded games, but just because it holds significant value to me. And it might be fun just to have a graded copy of a game. Again, that meant so much to me growing up. And this is my sister's first game ever, Littlest Pet Shop. Was quite the interesting game. We're going right back to the extreme shovelware. We got Madagascar carts. And then Link's Crossbow Training, which was actually, it was a first-party game. Fortunately, this one has like a rip in the case. But this was supposed to use the Wii Zapper, which I don't have, unfortunately. I can't really show that off. There's Madden NFL 09 All Play. Yeah, this one is actually correct. And then here is Madden 10. This was the first game that my father got when we got our Wii. We had 4 games in total. I don't remember which one my mother got for herself. Maybe it was Just Dance. I'll have to ask her, or I can pull up the video. We do have video of that. Maybe I'll, with their permission, I'll release that one day. Kind of like the Nintendo 64 kit. I did definitely get excited. I don't remember what I said. That might be fun to look at. This is not his version, and you can tell because I actually got scammed. This is Madden 11. Oh well, not much I can do there. We have Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games. I keep dropping games. I'm sorry. I definitely know that that's like affecting the mic. Yeah, this game was one I played a lot. This was from my grandparents' place. My sister and I played the hell out of the game. One of the best ways for us to connect. We didn't have many shared hobbies, I don't think, especially once we got like the 3rd, 4th grade later on. But like Wii games, we could always see eye to eye on. So that's why I'm so thankful to have, I think, a lot of these games in my life, is because it did give me the chance to really like connect with my family in ways that maybe I wouldn't be able to otherwise. Mario Kart Wii, speaking of which, that was a game my sister and I got. This is the original copy we had. Birthday gift, and I played a lot of it. She didn't. I don't think she really ever played it. But from my grandparents' place, I did also get the original box copy. This game also came with a box, but I was a naive third grader. I threw the paper box away. My parents, I could demand a lot of money from them from all the boxes they made me toss, and the ones they tossed without my permission, I won't forget. Mario Party 9. This is like, I think this is the only game that I don't have the original case for, except one later in the Wii collection. Metroid Other M. Honestly, not a terrible game. Like, a lot of Metroid fans hate it. I think it's kind of overhated. Okay. Naruto Shippuden Clash of Ninja Revolution 3. Or maybe it's Clash of Ninja 3 Revolution. I don't know. I just know it's an okay fighting game. I have 2 copies of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I probably should have marked which one is mine and which one came from my grandparents. I'm gonna guess it's this one because the instruction booklet's all mangled. Yeah, this one's like in pristine condition, so this is definitely the one from my grandparents. Now this I also got Christmas morning when we opened up the Wii. I didn't really understand this game for a while, but then I got into it, and that probably is what sent me down this rabbit hole of collecting games. We have Pac-Man Party. Clearly made of cheap plastic because I just snapped the case 2 ways simultaneously. This one probably needs a new case. Here we have Sonic and the Black Knight. Again, okay, this is the Sonic Storybook series. Yeah, Sonic kind of got like weirdly like edgy during this time. It didn't really do it too much justice. From my grandparents, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I didn't even know this kind of game existed. It looks like it's a 2D platformer. It's probably a really bad one. Maybe I should do like a shovelware series. That might be fun. That might be a really good way to kick off my channel again. But again, that'll depend on where I end up. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Great game. Not nearly as great on the Wii as in other consoles. But then there's also Force Unleashed 2. Oh damn. This case has seen better days. I should there are a lot of these I do need to replace, unfortunately. As you might be able to see with the next one, the Super Mario All-Stars 25th Anniversary Limited Edition. As it might suggest, the 25th anniversary of Mario was 2010. So this came out. I actually went to go get Lego Star Wars 3, the Clone Wars game, that day, and they didn't have it in stock, and they had this in stock instead. And I said, yeah, why not? I like Mario at this point. And I listened to what was I even going to try and say there? I listened to this nonstop. You can tell like the case is all mangled. And then here they had like a book. They had a soundtrack CD and a book with like the history of Mario, and you can tell like I read this over and over and over. And I think this game right here was what really got me into like collecting, because I saw like, what the fuck is a Super Mario 64? And then I found out what it was, and all of a sudden I wanted it because it sounded cool, and the soundtrack was great. They had like the slider theme. Oh no, they have the soundtrack on here. Yeah, so they had the slider theme from Super Mario 64. Like, huh, that sounds fun. Yeah, so they had a bunch of old tracks, and then weirdly a bunch of like sound effects on that CD. This is a game I definitely need to refurbish. I was a stupid little kid who thought that this plastic was part of the plastic I had to tear off, so I tore it off. Again, this one has really seen better days, and I would very much like to refurbish it at some point, because, as I just said, this is the game that probably got me the most into collecting over any other game. it's hard to think that I would be this excited about like video games and this like eager to collect if I had gotten Lego Star Wars 3 that day. So I'm very grateful. Maybe my parents aren't after hearing that. Maybe they're gonna shake their head and say we should have just got it from online. Super Mario Galaxy. Sorry, games fell again. I have 2 copies, one from my grandparents, one from my own home. Super Mario Galaxy 2, one of my favorite games of all time, because it was one of the first ones I ever played. As always, you can tell which one came from my place and which one came from my grandparents' place based on the condition of the case and the manual. We have Super Paper Mario, which was the first Paper Mario game to be in 2D, and I think honestly the only one. It kind of got hate back in the day, but nowadays I think people are more open to praising it. We have Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the most hated Smash game. I think honestly valid for a reason, like, but at the same time, it's still a Smash game. It's still fucking good. Back to the shovelware, we got The Price is Right. I do remember playing this at my grandparents' place. We have Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. I don't remember ever playing this game. I definitely did once, and I was very bad at it. Here we have Wii Fit, and then 2 copies of Wii Fit Plus. Again, if I have 2 copies of something, you can probably guess why I have the second copy. Wii Music, which was also fun. I think this is the one that really didn't do well. I think that's why I have it. That's also why it was $4 instead of like probably $1. And 2 games that actually do cost quite a pretty penny nowadays. Wii Sports, which came with the Wii. So I don't technically have the sleeve for it, but I do still have the game. And then the Wii Sports Resort Bundle. Let's see, do I have a controller here with it? No, but I have a controller grip and a nunchuck. So that's what came with Wii Sports Resort. And I'm sure I packaged that really poorly because I had to package this quickly to get out of my grandparents' place. And then finally, fitting for the Wii, because it's again more shovelware, is Zuzu Pets, featuring the Wild Bunch. Actually, this was a pretty fun platformer. I'm not gonna hate on it too much. My sister and I played it through, I think, multiple times. Not a bad platformer, especially compared to some of the other ones I just showed here. So, yeah, that was the Nintendo Wii. And that was Nintendo's most successful console until very recently. So after Nintendo's success with the Wii, they felt like they could do no wrong, and then they did terribly wrong. When they released the Wii U, the worst-selling Nintendo console of all time. But this is also, my childhood Wii U, because I did end up getting one. Kind of reluctantly, actually. I wasn't too keen on getting one, and then I did. And, after having it for so long, maybe it's just the nostalgia talking, but, I genuinely adore this console, and I think it could have been so much better had Nintendo focused. Oh my gosh, yeah, this guy needs a cleaning. These guys collect dust so much. They could have done this much better had they made asymmetrical gaming an option rather than a requirement. It made it hard to program for, so not many third-party developers wanted to program anything for it. So you have a lot of really decent first-party games, not too many third-party games. Oh well. With that, yeah, this is the Wii U gamepad. This is the Wii U console. They are required to get the console running. So let's take a look at the games I have. And this doesn't include my digital library, because of course digital libraries really started existing this generation, at least for Nintendo. But let's go ahead and start. Animal Crossing and Amiibo Festival. Now, Amiibo, for those of you who do not know, are little figurines that you could tap on the gamepad, and they would have some sort of functionality in-game, using near-field connection. Kind of like, how you tap a Metro card on a Metro to get access. It's a lot like that. Or like how your credit card or debit card, you can tap it to pay. That's near-field connection. This game was kind of trash. Very much a luck-based game. so not very fun when, you know, someone can just win 50,000 bells. I think that's the currency of Animal Crossing. 50,000 bells on a whim and then win the entire game when everyone else has like 2,000. Assassin's Creed 3, there was limited third-party support, especially in the beginning, as you'll see as well with Call of Duty Black Ops 2. This is kind of a shocker, you know, being on the Wii U. But this one, of course, is in a shitty dark blue case, which it shouldn't be. It was actually quite fun. It played decently well. Maybe, I mean, obviously similar to like Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, maybe a little less powerful, especially because like if anyone played on the gamepad, you had to play in 480p, whereas the Wii U did support native HD. Next we have Hyrule Warriors. We have Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham, and Lego Marvel Superheroes. This game, my sister and I played the hell out of. I think I would say this might be the last like really good Lego game. This generation, Lego really, I mean, just kept pumping out game after game after game, and it really got tiring after a while. But that doesn't mean that the games weren't like bad. So like Lego The Hobbit, you know, I played through all of this. It wasn't necessarily like a groundbreaking game anymore. Most people were kind of done with it by then, which is why you don't see too many Lego games today. We have Minecraft Wii U Edition. It did actually come out. I remember being so hyped when they finally announced Minecraft for the Wii U. And then it basically just ended up being a port of Xbox 360's edition. Despite the fact that PlayStation 4 and Xbox One had so much better benefits for players. This is, I think it's Nintendo Land. It is. It is Nintendo Land, which did come, I think, pretty much with every deluxe Wii U bundle. And so you don't see too many discs of this, because like that was for people who had the white basic model. But, you know, just to have it, I have it. This goes here. Then the bestseller, Mario Kart 8. It also, I think, is the bestseller on Nintendo Switch, but we'll get to that. For the longest time, I refused to buy 8 Deluxe on Nintendo Switch because I had 8 on Wii U. It's like buying the same game. But they did actually add enough that it probably ended up making it worth it. Mario Party 10, the last of the numbered Mario Party games. We have New Super Luigi U, which came out in 2013 during the year of Luigi. And it was just a New Super Mario Brothers U, but basically you had to speedrun it as Luigi with the extra jump feature. Actually quite a fun game. I really did enjoy it. On that topic, New Super Mario Brothers U, same game as New Super Luigi U, and there is a bundle disc, but I don't have that. I think it was more fun to get the green disc here. We have Paper Mario Color Splash. I found this at like a Walmart bargain bin. It's kind of hated. I mean, the art style was gorgeous, and the story was, it was just There's not really much else to say about that. Pikmin 3, which was fun. I very much enjoyed that. It's the thing you'll notice with a lot of Wii U titles. Like, it was good, yes. Was it like stellar? Probably not. But there were definitely some gems. Like Pokken Tournament, for example. A mix between Pokemon and Tekken. Pretty cool idea. And following that logic, you know, there's also Splatoon, which started out on Wii U. And I mean, it feels kind of bare bones nowadays with the 2 other titles on Nintendo Switch. But everyone's got to start from somewhere. And it was good. I have a Star Fox Zero and Star Fox Guard. I had bought this multiple times and then just canceled because I really didn't want to buy it. But for the sake of expanding my Wii U collection, I finally bit the bullet. So there are 2 games, Star Fox Guard, sort of a tower defense style game, and then the actual Star Fox Zero game, which people didn't really like. And I can kind of see why. Like, it's not stellar. Again, like a lot of Wii U games, not stellar, but actually like actively okay. Kind of following that, we have Super Mario 3D World, which again, good game. But it just lacks a lot of that charm that Nintendo used to put into their titles. It just feels like they took a 2D Mario game and added a Z dimension. But it was 4-player, which was great. Here we have the day 1 edition of Super Mario Maker, which was a gem on Wii U. You know, being able to make your own Mario levels with the gamepad, very unique idea, very well executed. Obviously, because there's a second one on Nintendo Switch. We have Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. Actually, this case is totally broken because I played it so much, a couple hundred hours, at least. Again, like, great game in comparison to Brawl. You know, it works a lot better than Brawl, but it does feel soulless in comparison to like Ultimate, and especially compared to Brawl and Melee. And then let's see, The Legend of Zelda: Twilight Princess HD. This is a game people have been waiting to come out on Switch for a very long time, and I've heard this goes for a lot online. I got it as a gift from a high school friend. So, you know, if you're watching this, thank you very much. You know, I really do appreciate it. And, like, to all my friends watching this, I appreciate that you're in my lives. I don't want to say, like, you have to get me a game to be on that appreciation list, man. Like, no, I love you all. And I think this is my most recent edition, which would be Tokyo Mirage Sessions. I believe it's called a Sharp FE. And this is the, oh god, what's it called? It's a mix between Fire Emblem and some anime. I don't know. I'm not a big anime fan. But it is a mix between the two. This game was in development hell for the longest time, so it's amazing they actually got it a release. I think there's a version on Nintendo Switch now, too. We have Wii Sports Club. Again, this is one of the rarer titles, specifically because this was given out for free on most Wii U consoles. And then you had to pay for it later. So people had their trials, said, oh, okay, it's just more Wii Sports. And, you know, didn't think much afterward. Especially because it really was just like the original Wii Sports in HD. There was no reason to really continue playing, especially because like boxing required 2 Wiimotes with Wii Motion Plus. Whereas you only needed a nunchuck and a Wii remote for the original. We have one that just came to Switch, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Very interesting game in the Xenoblade series, but definitely not a bad one. There is a Yoshi's Woolly World, another 2D Yoshi game. And finally, I have Zombie U, which was, again, an Ubisoft game that came out at the very beginning. Very cool, very good design. It just didn't sell well because it was on Wii U. So this thing sold like 13 million units in total, but of course is sandwiched between the behemoths of the Wii and the Nintendo Switch, which is where we're about to go to now. You can definitely tell that the Nintendo Switch is the first console where I actually had money to buy some games, because I have a lot of games. Yeah, you'll definitely see. I think just recently this may have surpassed Xbox 360 as my largest collection too. But I'll go ahead and show off the Nintendo Switch itself. This is the launch day model from 2017. You can tell because it's very scratched up in the back. Ugh. I hope I can fix that up soon. But Nintendo also created 2 different models of Switch, which I do have up here with me. That would be the Switch Lite, one where the Joy-Cons cannot come off, and then the mid lifespan update, the Nintendo Switch OLED, which had, as you might be able to guess, an OLED screen and a solid back panel to play in tabletop mode. I think the OLED might still be my favorite Nintendo Switch, even with the Nintendo Switch 2. The Nintendo Switch 2 is sleek, but the OLED, oh my god, it just feels so fresh. Definitely like between those two in terms of like which one is the coolest. But let's go ahead and take a look at the games, because the games are what make the consoles cool, not just the design. And we got a lot of games. So first, Among Us Crewmate Edition. Yeah, as you can see, it has the kind of images that flip back and forth depending on how you look at it, which is fun. Always love those. I did actually exclusively get this to piss off one of my high school friends. because he just hates Among Us irrationally. You know, even if you think it's overhyped, he just hates it irrationally. So I do have Among Us on every platform it released on. We have Animal Crossing: New Horizons. ARMS, a very underdeveloped fighting game by Nintendo. I wish they had done more with it because it actually was pretty fun. It came out in 2017 while basically people were waiting for Mario Kart and Mario Odyssey. We have BioShock the Collection. It's BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. First time those ever appeared. Have the Borderlands Legendary Collection, which I believe is 1, 2, and the pre-sequel. Oh, I hear you, kitty. Come over here. Come on. Maybe she'll come over. We have Cave Story Plus, which is the first game I got that actually has stuff inside it. There's a mini DVD. I think that's the soundtrack. An actual... What's it called? This is an actual manual, which a lot of Switch games don't have, unfortunately. And then a keychain, which I never even opened, because I preferred to keep things complete and like new in box, I guess, way back in 2017. I may have picked this up simply because it had stuff on the inside, but it turned out to be a very good game too, so I'm not going to complain. Meow, I hear you. Come here, baby. Yeah, there she's coming. Here, kitty. We have Dark Souls Remastered. First time any, I think, FromSoft game has appeared on Nintendo, and it was a pretty good remake, even on Switch. Empire of Sin, which again I believe is the only Paradox game to ever appear on Switch. We need a Paradox. You listen to me. We need Hearts of Iron 4 on Switch too. Fire Emblem Three Houses, and this is a European version, as you can tell by the PEGI rating rather than the ESRB rating in the US, which does mean that it is region free. It is completely region free. They haven't tried to fuck us over like they did with literally every generation. So there's Fire Emblem Warriors. Meow, come here. She's meowing up a storm. Miss Ankara, come here. Come on. She'll be here, I'm sure. We have the Five Nights at Freddy's Core Collection, which is I think FNAF 1 through 4 plus Sister Location. Yep. Runs pretty decent on Switch, but to be fair, they could run on mobile, so I would really hope they could run on Switch. There is Game Builder Garage, another really unique idea that Nintendo really never advertised properly. You can think like the next step up from Mario Maker, where you're actually making games. Again, really cool with like with block programming, similar to you'd say Scratch or Game Maker or something like that. But also unique in its own way because it's meant to be used on a touchscreen. We have Garfield Kart Furious Racing, which is a pretty abhorrent game, but it's that kind of curse that you can't help but pick it up again and again and again. Oh, there you are. Hi, kitty. She's come to join us. So here we have the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. My kanji is not good enough to talk about what the title might be in Japanese, but you can play it in English because of the region-free settings. This, you can tell it's Japanese also because of the Sero rating at the bottom, whereas you don't have that with ESRB or with PEGI. That being said, it's also in Japanese, so that's a pretty good indicator. We have Kirby and the Forgotten Land, very fun 3D game. And then we also have Kirby Star Allies, which is also somewhat fun 2D game. I remember playing that when the NES Classic Edition came out for the second time at GameStop. Played that like the entire time I was waiting. I almost beat the game just in that time. We have Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, a $60 remake. So it's expensive, especially since the original was $40. But a really good remake, I will have to say. There is Luigi's Mansion 3, and that has a bit of a ripped case. I guess I'll be getting new cases. That is something I still need to do. I've made that clear like every single time I made one of these. I still need to get better cases, and I'm working on it slowly but surely. Here we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I finally bit the bullet after I got it half price at a thrift store because of the expansion, which I would say actually is worth it. Mario Party Superstars, the second Mario Party game to show up on Nintendo Switch, and again, not bad at all. Let's see, I believe these are next. Yeah, we have Night in the Woods. I actually got this at PAX West. We had some limited run games being sold. And my ex at the time had told me to try it out, and I tried it out. Pretty good game. I don't think I ever finished it, so maybe I should go back and do that. But yeah, I mean, the limited run games are actually pretty cool. It's just they're limited, so they're really expensive, which kind of takes a lot of the fun out of it, in my opinion. We have Nintendo Switch Sports, which comes with, what does it come with? Oh yeah, one of the Joy-Con like knee pads, I believe. Yes, it does. They call it the leg strap, and that's, I think, only used in the Ring Con adventure. What did they call it? We'll get there. We'll see, because I have that game too. And then the Nintendo World Championships NES edition, which I actually haven't even opened yet. But this thing is heavy because it comes with the game, a replica game pack of the Nintendo World Championships, a pin set, and a bunch of art cards. I didn't mean to whack my computer there. I had a bunch of these, or I had a bunch of I guess, desire to play this, but I wanted to wait until I had my NES controllers up, and then I finally got them up, and I was in no shape to ever play it. So it still has stayed unopened to this day. Okay. I'm gonna try not to destroy the mic. We have Paper Mario: The Origami King, which was actually a pretty good game. I don't think they needed to make the fighting system as complex as they did, but it did bring back a lot of traditional Paper Mario elements, which is what people wanted. And speaking of which, we have Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, again on Switch. Now this is actually not the original case. Nintendo had rewards. I think you could get it if you pre-ordered at GameStop or something. The GameCube title. So yeah, technically this has a GameCube logo, not a Switch logo. But this is the box art that normally would show up, which isn't bad as well. But like, I'm a sucker for nostalgia, right? So I'll go ahead and take the custom box art over the or it's still official, so I shouldn't call it custom. Okay, we have Pikmin 1+2, which is Pikmin 1 and 2. Who would have thought about that, right? Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, and I have a lot of the Pokemon games, not even close to all of them. But there's a Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus, depending on how you like to pronounce it. I'm not going to start any wars. But maybe, if you have a preference, you should say that down in the comments. We have... Oh, this is just a Pokemon Legends Arceus, or Arceus. Download code that I never was able to redeem because I only picked it up after it was expired. I just thought it'd be fun to keep because like it's hard to find those things nowadays. We have Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which it actually was kind of a fun spin on the original games. Then there's Pokemon Shining Pearl. Let's see. I think okay, there we go. Pokemon Sword is the last one I have. I didn't get any of the Scarlet or Violet games, just because I don't feel like Pokemon has been living up to the standards it used to hold itself to on Switch, which is unfortunate because it is a great series. I think most everyone would agree that. We have Ring Fit Adventure. That's what that's called. This is the other thing that uses the leg strap and also the Ring Con, which I do have, but I'm not going to pull it out of where I got it right now. I think I've showed that before as well. So like, if you're really curious, check out my other videos or just look up a Ring Con. Sid Meier's Civilization 6 runs like crap on the Switch, but a good game. So if you don't mind like a 10-minute load time, then you go for it. We have Sonic Forces, the bonus edition, which actually came with Joy-Con art or like sticker art. I never put that on because I didn't want to get called a loser for having Sonic Forces stickers on my Joy-Con, so I never did that. Then we have Sonic Mania, which is a 2D Sonic game. I think it was made, Christian Whitehead, and then some of the other people who had previously ported Sonic games were allowed to make this under Sega's license, and that was a really good game. We have Splatoon 2. I'd probably spent the most time on that. And then here we also do have the Octo expansion alternative cover. Again, officially released by Nintendo. I just prefer to keep the original on because, it's not a copy specifically for the Octo expansion. Oh yeah, okay. And even more so, they had a reversible cover on this game, where you could choose, which one you wanted to use. So you had a grand total of 3 covers for this game. They really did hype it up because it was a big upgrade from the original, and it was, I would say, one of their first games to not be like totally rated E. It is E10 plus, so like it's not Call of Duty or anything, but it is fun. It makes me wonder then, does Splatoon 3, which came out last year, 2 years ago maybe? Must have been 2 years ago. Does that also have... It does have reversible box art, again. So, if you wanted to exchange this for this, you totally could. But, for the sake of continuity, I do like, having the uniformity of all these, with the exception of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. So I'll stick with the originals. Starlink Battle for Atlas, which was Toys to Life game. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't terrible either. I wouldn't spend any more money on it though. We have Super Bomberman R, which kind of got shit on because it was a $50 game for something that probably should have been like $20. But it is what it is. I needed games when I first got this. Speaking of really good and now really rare games, I did pick up Super Mario 3D All-Stars when that came out back in 2020. Nowadays, this thing goes for like double what retail price was, and did actually include a lot of cute cover art. It's only a shame that Nintendo did the bare minimum and then made it limited time. But it was, Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy all in one. So, I mean, you're getting 3 really good games for the price of one, which I'd say is a pretty good deal. Then, the same year, they also released Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I got this specifically for Bowser's Fury. I don't think I've ever touched Super Mario 3D World on Switch, but Bowser's Fury, good game. And obviously, you can say that for a lot of Switch games, like, probably better than their Wii U counterparts, but, for an extra $40 when you can just get the Wii U version for like $20, it's, unless you're really concerned about Bowser's Fury, I would just get on it. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, the first game to not feature my goat Charles Martinet, who I actually did meet. Very sweet guy. Such a shame that they forced him to retire. But all the same, it's good for the new actors, and I'll be graceful. I'll give them the chance to prove themselves. Super Mario Maker 2, more Mario Maker, which was actually a 3D World version. That was their big upgrade. There's Super Mario Odyssey. I don't think there's anything left to say about this game. It's fucking amazing. Super Mario Party. The first Mario Party did not use like the numbers, or the first like main console Mario Party did not use the numbers 1 through 10. We have Super Mario RPG. I feel like this one had a... Okay, no, it didn't have a back cover, but it did have some cute art of the world. Very good remake. Maybe didn't need to be $60, but especially because you could actually get like the original soundtrack and everything. Very good game. Here we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Which cat is that? Yes, kitten? Back over here. Let's see. Can we see her? We cannot see her. Where'd she go? Oh, she's on the other side here. No, there she is, right there. How cute. So, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I got this day one, so I also got the Smash Ultimate coin that came with it. Obviously, like, very good game. Supposedly the ultimate Smash game, but you know, some people will disagree with that vehemently. I have the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and because on the box it starts with a T, again, fight me. The is an English word, so if you have the Elder Scrolls V, it should be starting with a T. Then we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the go-to game for the launch. And one I would consider buying again for Switch 2 had I, you know, more funds to do so. We have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Cool that they brought that one back. And then, of course, I've talked about this before, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. There's a Switch 2 version for that too, and I would absolutely buy it had I a bunch of money to spare. Because that game was great on Switch, and I'm sure it'd be even better on Switch 2. This is The Outer Worlds. Switch port, not too great, but it is a fun game. And there's a The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition. Can't remember what all goes in here. Oh yeah, okay. It has all expansions and DLCs. What's this? I think it's just like a small book. Yeah, it's a book and some stickers, I believe, from CD Projekt Red. And then lastly, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I never finished this one, but it is, you know what, it is decent story-wise. I'm pretty sure all of these characters are still, like, if you look up bad character design on Google, for the longest time, those characters would show up, like, first thing. I'm pretty sure that's still the case, but someone can correct me if I'm wrong. The Switch is going to have more games come out. Probably not any big ones, but you know, there'll still be more to come for it. It hasn't died yet, and Nintendo, I'm sure, is trying to get to dethrone the PlayStation 2 as the best-selling console of all time, which is probably why they waited so long with the Switch 2 to begin with, but I'm sure they're still going to push it for a while. But of course, then that leaves one console left in Nintendo here, so let's go right over to that. This is probably going to be the easiest part of this entire video, because the Switch 2 just came out. I still don't really have money because I'm trying to move. So here's the Switch 2. You guys have seen it before on this channel. Very recently, actually. Again, sleek console. It's huge, but it's sleek. And, you know, naturally, like, it's pretty sick. But you might ask, John, what games could you possibly have? Because you showed us Mario Kart World already. And there's one more. There's Donkey Kong Bonanza. You know, they did actually start putting box art on the sides again, which I really do love. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Mario Kart World. And that's it for Switch 2, which also means that's it for Nintendo. So I think now we're probably going to go for Sega. So we'll take a look at all the Sega consoles. So obviously dinner turned out to be a lot later than possible. And because I want to get this done all in one day, I think we're going to start merging them together. So we're going to start with all three Sega consoles, which would be... Where the hell is my Dreamcast? What the fuck? I swear I just had it, man. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're going to be looking at the Sega Genesis, the Sega Saturn, and the Sega Dreamcast all at once, especially because those are not very big consoles. So let's go ahead and get started then with the Sega Genesis. I don't know. Sorry for the noise. I don't know if I've gotten to show off the Sega CD. The lighting's really off here, but oh well. You guys can cope with it. Yeah, so I have a Model 1 Sega Genesis with a Model 1 Sega CD. Very hard to find, by the way. Kind of annoying, to be honest. Okay, but here are the Genesis and technically Sega CD games that I have, of which I have one. We have Garfield Caught in the Act. Life would not be complete without Garfield games, so, you know, obviously, we got one. There is NBA Jam. I don't think I've ever touched this game. I don't remember how I even got it, to be quite honest with you. I think it came with a bundle of games that I got. The next one is a very interesting game. It is a bootleg of a of a Japanese game about the Three Kingdoms period in China. It is, in fact, a strategy game, which, you know, were pretty rare back then, but as someone who majored in Chinese, this was particularly interesting to me. So this would be 三国志列. What is it? Hold that thought. So don't mind the cut. Totally didn't have to look one of these characters up. But the translation would be, or I guess the pronunciation for this would be 三国志列传乱世群英. And that would roughly translate to like Three Kingdoms. I don't know if it'd be like, I call it Three Kingdoms Special. But then that second subtitle is definitely Heroes of Troubled Times. It does work on an American Genesis. It is pretty cool. However, I feel like most of this is a little too antiquated and also too traditional. I'm a simplified Chinese kind of guy. We also have here Shaq Fu. We've seen this one before on Super Nintendo. But it's good to get it on Genesis too. Was that my cat? Buddy? Maybe not. Sonic the Hedgehog. A classic on Genesis. Unfortunately, I don't have every one of those Sonic games. But I also have Sonic 2. And then I have Bill Walsh College Football. Now, I really just got this to make sure the Sega CD worked. It was a $1 game at the local store that I frequent in my hometown. So, not too interesting of a game. It's a football game. But it did prove to me that my CD worked, which is fantastic. Now, after the Genesis and creating the CD and the 32X and losing all credibility in the gaming market, Sega released the Sega Saturn. I don't know why this keeps closing on me. Actually, I really like the design of the Saturn. I think of the 5th generation consoles, this one is by far the most sleek. And I only wish it could have done better, but, you know, Sega kind of screwed themselves. Didn't even have a Sonic game on it other than, like, what, Sonic... no, they had Sonic R and Sonic 3D Blast. But it is a very sleek console. And for this console, I have a whole 2 games. The original Gex. And yes, they did come in these really kind of dramatically large jewel cases, although a lot of games I think later on would go on to replace them with regular like CD jewel cases. The other one I have is Myst, which is, you know, a popular computer game. Of course, then being ported over to Saturn. But that's all for Saturn. There are a lot of really good Saturn games that I'm missing, which makes me sad because it makes me want to not play on the Saturn. But you know, I will certainly get that in due time. And then lastly, over here, because I'm a fucking idiot, is the Dreamcast, the very surprisingly heavy console. You know, I think it's one of the first one to include wired internet connection, or what is it? It's not a LAN port. No, it's a broadband adapter, and I'm pretty sure it came built in with every console. Although, if I do recall, yeah, you can take it out. So like clearly, so maybe it's not as a message was that. Ah, Snapchat. I fucking hate that app. I should delete it already. So, we have a total of 3 games here for the Dreamcast. Yeah, Sega is where I'm lacking the most, clearly. Crazy Taxi. My most recent grab for it was Sonic Adventure, which I'm very proud of, by the way. Like, because on top of that, I did get the version with 2 sides. So, we have Sonic Adventure, and then this was, I assume it was released a little later, because this is the Sonic Adventure 2 trial disc, which I found was pretty tough to get. So I was quite lucky to find that. And then, lastly, Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation. Revelation. And that's really all I have for Sega. It's, again, one of the consoles I'm lacking most, or one of the console series I'm lacking most on. But Nintendo has always been my biggest. So, with that, we can move on then to Sony. Let's go do that. So much in the same regard as the Sega consoles, I will elect to put the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 in the same category. This was Sony's first attempt after getting screwed over by Nintendo in a deal to make a CD add-on for the Super Famicom. They made the PlayStation and kind of kicked Nintendo's ass in the 5th generation. It was the first one of the new consoles to use CDs rather than cartridges, and that is partially attributed as to why Sony was able to dominate that generation. For this, I do only have 3 games. So let me start by showing off Bloody Roar, which I actually got inside the PlayStation. No, it was inside my PlayStation 2. That's right. One thing I really do like about PlayStation discs is that they have a black data side, which I don't think any other device has ever had that kind of a design. I could be very wrong. I probably am. But this is definitely the most popular use of it. And it does look really damn cool. So I have the Gran Turismo demo disc, and then Medal of Honor Underground. And that's all. Medal of Honor, being a very old, kind of like almost a predecessor to Call of Duty in terms of World War II shooters. And it's fun, but on PlayStation 1, very, very primitive, kind of as to be expected. And then the, I guess currently undisputed best-selling game console of all time, the PlayStation 2. Yeah, it is, I guess, undisputed as of right now. Nintendo is looking to take that title away from them, though. So, let's see what I got on PlayStation 2. And funny enough, most of these games I got in a deal where I got a PlayStation 3 for free, with a bunch of games on it. So, first off, 007, Everything or Nothing. Maybe I should mention, I haven't played very many of these. I'm not a PlayStation guy, but I will be playing all these Final Fantasy games once I'm done with the 7 remake. We have 13, which technically goes at the beginning because the Roman numerals are the title and not the word 13. As I mentioned earlier, we got Boogie, again for $1. Devil May Cry 2. Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure this is the game where everyone is like practically not wearing clothes. Yeah, it looks like it. We have Enter the Matrix, which it looks like it actually was directed by the Wachowski. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not Polish. Wachowski. They're twins, right? I don't know. This says the Wachowski brothers, but of course they are both transgender now. So I don't know what the proper term would be then. Siblings, we use that term. We have Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X-2, not X2, X-2. I've heard these are all really good. And then this one as well, Final Fantasy XII. Grand Theft Auto 3. And then one which I'm very glad I got in that deal, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. This one is going up considerably in price, and I understand. It is a pretty fun game. Then we have Medal of Honor European Assault in an Xbox 360 case, and a broken one at that. Again, showing off how much I need to invest in new boxes. We have Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. We have Onimusha Warlords. And then Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. I was wondering, there's another Spyro game, but it's The Legend of Spyro, that one. And as I stated earlier, B is an English word, so it will be counted. We have TAC 2 Staff of Dreams. Oh, this one actually has a Blockbuster sticker. I never even realized that. That's pretty sick. Hi, kitty. Of course, Star Wars Battlefront. Can't have a 6th generation console without Star Wars Battlefront. And then, naturally, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I believe it's just on PlayStation 2 and Xbox. And then, ooh, wait, hold on. You know what? Oh, no, it's still there. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Now, I know you're watching this. I have a high school friend who gave this game to me. We kind of did a little game trade, and it turns out that the entire cover and manual were soaked in dog piss before he even bought it. He bought it at a thrift store. I tried to save the manual and the cover art, but they were long gone. Like, no matter how much you tried to clean that shit out, it just reeked of dog piss. So I had to toss them. And the case on the inside here still faintly smells of it. Even after, what, like 4 years after cleaning it out? Don't let your pets near games when they're untrained. Like, luckily, I can trust my cats because they're not going to fuck with my games. And then lastly, The Legend of Spyro, A New Beginning. I believe this is like, what, his origin story? Yeah. Oh, no way. Elijah Wood and Gary Oldman voice the characters in this game. That's crazy. I never knew that. But that's about all for PlayStation 2. You know, PlayStation's never been my thing. So, you know, you'll probably notice I don't have a lot of, like, enthusiasm when talking about these games. But that will change with PlayStation 3, 4, and 5, as I do have a lot of games I enjoy on there. Sorry, PlayStation 2, you were just never my first pick. But let's go to a console that might have a contender for some first pick games. Which, of course, leads us to the PlayStation 3. Otherwise maybe known as the console with really bad advertising. This thing is a beast in terms of size. Definitely not the biggest ever, but like at the time it probably was one of the biggest. And that's actually something that the Xbox fans would use against it later on. However, I do have a good amount of PlayStation 3 games, and specifically a good amount of games that I have spent more time enjoying and playing. So let's take a look at them. We have Batman Arkham City. This would be the Game of the Year edition. That is one thing I really don't like about PlayStation. There's a lot of things that I'll give PlayStation 3 shit for, despite the fact that it is a good console at the end of the day. The controller, and then the design of the box art, because here we have... I'll show you just the side of this. PS3, okay, fine. Like just going down the side vertically. Great. Well, here's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Now it's red, and the 3 is bigger than the PS, and the PS part is not even on the vertical. Like they changed the whole thing. I'm not going to try and explain it because it's late. Then we have Call of Duty Ghosts, the one that everyone hates for some reason. We have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. You can tell maybe I liked my Call of Duty games. You'll see that with the Xbox too, I promise. We have a sealed copy. Oh, nope, not so sealed anymore. A almost sealed copy of Darksiders 2. I think I got this at like a 5 Below. Which is crazy because I found it in like 2021, sometime around then. We have Dark Souls 2. Now, God of War 3. I'm pretty sure you could play every single God of War game up to God of War 3 on PlayStation 3, if I am correct. And I think I am, because here is the God of War collection, which is God of War 1 and God of War 2. It includes a voucher for the E3 2009 demo. I did try that. It doesn't work anymore. We have Gran Turismo 5 Prologue and Gran Turismo 5. The real driving simulator. I do have... I forgot how scratched up this one is. I'm sorry. The games keep falling over. I'm sure that's very loud on the mic. We have Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, which does mean, of course, I have Guitar Hero controllers and Guitar Hero World Tour. Game I grew up playing, and also Rock Band, but like Rock Band materials are so hard to find nowadays. I'll be satisfied with Guitar Hero for now. We have, god damn it, I'm sorry, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I think my generation will recognize it better through all the memes that came out of it with the music. What is it? There Will Be Bloodshed, I believe. Metal Gear Solid 4, subtitle is Guns of the Patriots. And now of course we're getting into the Minecraft generation, so Minecraft PlayStation 3 edition. You'll be seeing more of this real soon. Then we have, I'll kind of go rapid fire with these, NCAA Football 11, 12, and 13, but not 14. 14 is actually incredibly rare. I have seen it in stores, but it's like $80. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog. You might be asking, John, Sonic the Hedgehog came out in the 1990s. No. This is better known by its other name, Sonic 06. And furthermore, this is the PlayStation 3 edition, when PlayStation 3 was still considered like the inferior console in terms of ease of programming. So this game is probably the buggier of the two, and for anyone who knows Sonic 06, it is a garbage pit, a flaming garbage pit of a game. It is literally unplayable on PlayStation 3. It's terrible. Well, hi, Cat. I see you in the computer there. She's interested in hearing about games. I think she really just wants pets. Don't worry, you're going to get plenty of those. So, lastly, I have Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. Uncharted 2: Among Thieves. Again, this is the greatest hits version, which again, I don't like the red boxes, but whatever. And then Uncharted 3: Drake's Deception. And this one is interesting because it is a 3D compatible game. For those of you who didn't know, PlayStation 3 actually did have 3D glasses and a 3D monitor that you could play them on. That one right there. The monitor I use for my computer is actually a PlayStation 3 3D TV. Because that was a big thing back in the day. Believe it or not, 3D TVs were actually cool once. You know, I actually do like 3D stuff, so like it, you know, I still fall for it, but you know, take it with a grain of salt. When they say 3D, they don't really mean 3D, unless you're talking about like the 3DS, and even still, usually not really. But that's all for PlayStation 3. I think I will go ahead and lump 4 and 5 together, since 5 still is not necessarily the largest. Let's take a look at that. So I may have just dropped my camera, so I apologize if it looks any different. PlayStation 4, let's talk about that. This console did incredibly well, partially because Nintendo fucked up with the Wii U, Microsoft fucked up with the Xbox One, which really left this as the only like viable option for people who actually liked themselves. And then of course the Switch came along, and that was fair competition, but the PlayStation 4 had already really established itself as the king of games. And you know what? I just realized I forgot something, so let me grab that. 2 somethings, actually. So, here I was dusting off the PlayStation 4. This is actually the Pro model. You'll see it's very dusty. It's hard to get the dust off. Actually, mine smelled terribly of cigarette smoke when I first got it, but that's all gone now. Very glad to have the Pro model because it really is just beautiful. Let's take a look at all these games, huh? Please tell me. I did do it properly this time. So we have a sealed copy of Among Us Crewmate Edition. Again, still has the same cute little animation. There is Call of Duty Black Ops 4, the one that I believe had no story whatsoever. There is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Actually, a game I enjoy quite a bit. And a sealed copy of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which did come with a bundle. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Of course, this is their remake for Modern Warfare. And then Dark Souls 3. I think I have almost all of the achievements. I think Dark Souls 3 is also still in the PS4, so I'm going to have to plug that in and get it out before I put this guy away for good. We have Death Stranding. There is Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted with the PlayStation VR mode, so you'll get to see that in a moment. I do have a PSVR, which some of you should know because I did stream certain PSVR games in the past. God of War, PlayStation 4, definitely a must-play for any, honestly, for any adventure game fan. It actually is just really fun once you get into it. We have Horizon Zero Dawn, another very fun adventure game. Both of which can be kind of rage-inducing at times, but you know, I won't pitch a fit over it because I have beaten both games by this point. There is Like a Dragon Ishin. Oop, I hear a cat. I see a cat and I hear a different cat. They're real excited that I'm back. We have Madden NFL 20. Which, by the way, really kind of sucks in comparison to the old Madden games. They don't make Madden like they used to, and they used to make him kind of mid anyways. We've got Marvel Spider-Man. Fantastic game. You know, I'm sure everyone has heard of this game at this point, and like, good reason for it. Very good reason for it. Minecraft. And this is the Bedrock edition. Not the PlayStation 4 edition. I don't believe I have the PlayStation 4 edition. It's confusing. Minecraft PlayStation 4 edition and Minecraft are not the same game. Keep that in mind. NBA 2K17, one of the games I got with the console. Also one of the games I have never put in the console. PlayStation VR demo disc. And then, just to make it a little faster, demo discs 2 and 3. Actually, you know, these are all pretty decent demos. Like I don't have any complaints with them. Here is Rocket Arena, another game I got at Five Below. Scribblenauts Mega Pack. I don't know if anyone remembers Scribblenauts. Maybe that's my generation. You know, it got really big on the DS in particular. But also a game I got at Five Below. There are a lot of games you can find for PS4 at Five Below. Just probably not the big ones, such as Spyro Reignited Trilogy. And this is, of course, a really fun trilogy. One of the only games I have that is specifically for VR on here. You'll see required. Some have like VR mode available. This one's required. This is Super Hot VR. And it also is European. So then again, you know, it proves that that this series is, or that this console is region-free, which is awesome. I love it when things are region-free. We have Titanfall 2. And Tom Clancy's The Division. Fairly certain. Yeah, I also have... Oh, no. Thought I did have The Division 2. Maybe that's on Xbox. We'll see. We have Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. And then Unravel, the Yarny bundle, which includes Unravel and Unravel 2. Both very fun games. And then Yakuza 0. Also, I mean, I'm going to say a lot of these games are fun, right? Because they're games. They're supposed to be fun. But Yakuza, it's a real goofy game. I think anyone who has a sense of humor would enjoy it. The PlayStation 4, unfortunately, ended its run very, very quickly, I think. 2014 is when it came out, and 2020 is when its successor came out. And for that, of course, we are talking about the PlayStation 5. If you thought the PlayStation 3 was a behemoth, I'm sure everyone's talked about it by now. Look at this thing. is massive. It doesn't need to be massive. The slim version, and I believe the pro version, are both smaller. But I'm not spending $750 right now for PS5 Pro. That's ridiculous. I'd rather spend that money on games, for which I do actually have a larger PS5 collection than I always think I do, for some reason. Meow. I hear you, buddy. So, yeah, as mentioned earlier, and to be expected in Among Us Crewmate Edition, it's not the last you'll see of it either. We have Atomic Heart. Very fun game if you like BioShock and or Russian history. Astrobot, Game of the Year of last year, I believe. Hold on, got a sneeze coming. Oh, shit, okay. Now we have a kind of a stretch of Final Fantasy games. We have Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Yeah. Honestly, it didn't live up to my expectations. But I'm not going to complain because it is a remake of a PSP game. We have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and we have the Deluxe Edition. So, very thick box, comes with a steelbook, a reversible cover, or the game itself with a reversible cover, a mini soundtrack CD, and a hardback art book. And actually, I'm afraid to touch this because it is so well put together, right? Like, it will break my heart if this thing gets ruined in some way. So I have hardly touched this other than the game. In the game, I usually keep just like on top of the case and not inside it, because again, it just scares the shit out of me that I'm gonna actually hurt this. It is such a well-designed deluxe edition. And for any Final Fantasy fan, especially a Final Fantasy VII fan, I would recommend this. So that also means, like, I probably had to have played the remake somewhere, and yes, I have. I did get Remake Intergrade. I actually got this game free from Target. I know a lot of you are going to be mad at me for that because this game is now not super easy to find, but Target gave it to me for free. And I originally wasn't going to touch it, and then finally I said, might as well. Everyone talks about it. Characters are in Smash Bros, and so I played it, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is a good game. So, you know, if you haven't played it, give it a try. If you can't find Intergrade, you can still buy it on PS4. It's just going to look better on PS5, obviously. Oh, yes, okay. Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2. They did make a sequel. It is fun. It is fucking terrifying. And then Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. I think I 100%ed this game. A lot of people give it shit, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed it, especially because it was broken. Which I don't think it is so broken anymore. We have God of War Ragnarok. Ragnarok. I don't know why I tried to spin that. The launch edition, and of course also a fantastic game. Looks phenomenal. Is phenomenal. Then we have, I think officially, Horizon 2 Forbidden West. People will just call it Horizon Forbidden West, but there is a 2 in the middle right there. Not a pause button. But again, the launch edition, and I remember this game coming out. I had pre-ordered it. Target delivered it. It got stolen immediately from my package room. I don't think it ever really arrived. I think the driver just stole it. Got refunded for it and had to go to like 2 different Targets to find one. And of course, I spent all day looking for it just to have to go into work right after. Whereas it could have been on my doorstep otherwise. We have Spider-Man 2. More Spider-Man, obviously it's going to be great. And then, of course, also Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is the game I got with my PS5. I got it in a bundle. That's how I was able to get the PS5. My ex was not happy with me when I brought that home. But, you know, it's still here and she isn't, so maybe I made the right decision. We have Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Also a pretty fun game, but it felt kind of lackluster to me. Looked amazing, but there wasn't really that much gameplay. And then finally, Stray, another game that doesn't have much gameplay, but I'll forgive it because it is an indie game, and you play as a cat. I'm a cat person. Obviously, that's kind of my thing. And that is... Oh, that's not it. I promised you PSVR. So, the PSVR headset looks like this. Super comfy. It was kind of top of the line at its time, but now has been surpassed by a lot of other things, including the PlayStation VR 2, which is a lot more compact, a lot more well-designed, looks obviously a lot better, and still is one of the top VR headsets on the market today. Even though it consistently sells for much cheaper because PlayStation did such a poor time. They did such a poor job advertising and getting developers to actually develop for it that they essentially have scrapped it at this point, unfortunately. But you can still use it on your computer. So, maybe consider this if you have a PlayStation 5 and want to get into VR headsets, because this will double as a PlayStation headset and a PC headset. And that concludes Sony. So let's go ahead and move our attention to the last of the bunch, which is, of course, Microsoft. The deeper I get into this, the more I realize it's going to be a very late night. All right, now we're moving on to the last of them, which is the Xbox series of consoles. And we'll start with the Xbox, which premiered in 2001, did not do nearly as well as the PlayStation 2, but did in fact beat out the Nintendo GameCube somehow. So let's take a look at what Xbox games I have. And we're going to start off with 2006 FIFA World Cup. Great start there. You'll notice I have a lot of sports games for this. Also got those for free. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. This will be Blitz the League. Call of Duty Finest Hour. I believe this is the second game in the series. Conquer Live and Reloaded. Now this one is a banger right here. A remake of Conquer's Bad Fur Day on the Nintendo 64. It did have online multiplayer, but obviously no longer online. Fantastic game though. Totally recommend if you're an Xbox owner. Destroy All Humans. Fun alien invasion game. We've got ESPN Football. And ESPN 2005, or sorry, 2K5. Then we have Fable. And, of course, Fable The Lost Chapters. Then Forza Motorsport. V Classic. Obviously, Halo Combat Evolved. If you have an Xbox and you don't have Halo Combat Evolved, you don't have an Xbox. Even more so. Halo 2. Is this the original? Yes, this is the original. And then I have the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack. This is actually useless because multiplayer does not exist anymore on Halo 2. That being said, the map pack was, in fact, a disc. So, of course, I picked it up when I saw it. We have Madden 06, NBA Live 06, or 06. We have Namco Museum, which I don't believe features... Oh, no, okay, Pac-Man's the very first thing on it. Not a very big museum, only 10 games. Of course, we have Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, another 6th generation classic. And it's a real damn shame that they decided not to create the remake. And then Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. And that would be it for original Xbox, but it's not quite. See, we still have 3 games. These were all on Xbox and Xbox 360, but technically only have the Xbox logo. I think these are the only 3 games to not include the 360 on the 360 side label because they are cross-compatible. These were all made by Burger King, shockingly. So we're talking about Big Bumpin', racing game. We have Pocket Bike Racer, another, again, racing game. Oh no, Big Bumpin' is more like a bumper car game. My apologies. And then Sneak King, which is, of course, a more... I don't even know how to describe it. Honestly, I don't know if I could. Maybe I should make a video on these 3 in particular. Sneak King. Definitely was not worth $6, but I was looking to get all 3 pretty quickly, and so I did get all 3. As I mentioned, these were cross-compatible with Xbox 360. I consider them Xbox games, but while we're on the topic of 360, let's go ahead and check out which 360 games I have. So unfortunately for my voice, now that we're talking about 360, I think this is still going to be the largest in my collection. At least the largest in terms of space. But the Switch might beat it out. I'm still not sure. Take a look at it. I do have an original model, but this is the Slim model. Yeah, it is the Slim. There were 3 models in total, of which I have 2 of 3. But this is the one I have here at the moment with me. Specifically because the original red ringed, and I actually revived it from that, but I still don't quite trust it. Without further ado, let's get right into it, because you're going to see a massive stack by the end here. Army of 2, 40th Day. You're also going to see a lot of shooters. You'll notice that pretty quickly here. Assassin's Creed. The Walmart edition of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Oh, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, my bad. Batman Arkham Asylum. Battlefield 3 Limited Edition. 2 copies of BioShock, one of which was the reason I bought a 360, because I found it on the side of the road. I believe it's this one right here. So I keep that out of respect. I don't think it works anymore. It clearly had been run over by a car at some point. BioShock 2, and then of course BioShock Infinite. That feels really, really light. Huh. We have Blazing Angels, same one as the Wii. Then we also here have Blazing Angels 2. I don't remember why I ended up getting these games, to be quite honest. They're not the best. We have Borderlands. We have Burnout Revenge. I hear you, kitty. Come here, bud. Come here, buddy. Oh, he doesn't like the fact that I'm moving stuff. Come here, kitten. We have Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Call of Duty Black Ops. And of course, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. You cannot have an Xbox 360, I think, without having this game. It's crazy it took me as long as it did to get it. Yeah, it took me like what, 2-3 years after getting my 360 to finally pick this one up. Call of Duty Ghosts. And if you think we're done with Call of Duty, you are incorrect. That's what I thought. I have more Call of Duty to show. We've got Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. You'll notice a lot of these are very similar to PlayStation 3 because I have 2 copies of them. One on 360, one on PS3. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Call of Duty, technically, the title says MW3, but it is on the side of Modern Warfare 3. Now, getting into some Xbox exclusives, we got Crackdown and Crackdown 2. We have Fable 2, and for that matter, Fable 3. We got Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, usually considered the best one, Far Cry 3, Why did these... Oh, I see. They're just acting weird. Gears of War. And to make things easier, Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3. Found out that's a game I'm very bad at. And it's definitely one of those really edgy 2000s games. Oh, it's made by Epic Games. I didn't even realize that. But it's very much one of those really edgy, gritty 2000s games. And honestly, you know, I'm not too big a fan of that, but it is fun. We got Grand Theft Auto 5. Again, another classic. You have to have that on a 7th or higher generation game console. Halo 3, probably the like quintessential Xbox 360 game. I don't think there's a game more iconic than Halo 3. And of course, the Halo is going to continue, obviously. We've got Halo 3 ODST. Halo 4. Now this is actually the game that I grew up playing at my friend's house, not Halo 3. So funny enough, you know, everyone says Halo 3 is like the best Halo game. I actually have a soft spot for Halo 4. I also have the Chinese version of Halo 4, which I believe that would be Zui Hui Zhan, the last battle, is what it would be translated to. Very cool though, very hard to come by. Especially in the States. Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, or as the title on this side might make you think, Combat Evolved Halo Anniversary, but that is not what it is. We have Halo Reach. We have Halo Reach in Chinese. I do have, again, you can tell I have a couple of the Chinese games. You know, this is one I actually found stateside, and I was given it for $5. Stateside, it costs about 10 times that price. So that's one of my favorite deal stories. Halo Wars, a strategy game, which, you know, I actually enjoy. Another strategy game, History Great Battles Medieval. Just Great Battles Medieval. One of the only games I don't have a full case for here, and of course it's the shitty GameStop case. That itself is kind of iconic, though, you know. We have Kinect Adventures, so yes, I do have a Kinect. LA Noire, a fantastic game. Like, feels like GTA if you're meant to, you know, follow the law instead and actually solve crimes instead of commit them. We have Left 4 Dead, a classic Valve game, and a lot of Valve games actually appeared on 360, which is pretty neat. Lego Indiana Jones, The Original Adventures. Again, Lego games from this generation were amazing. We got Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga on 360. And for that matter, I did finally end up getting a copy of Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars. It only took me like an extra 10 years after I went for Super Mario All-Stars instead. And I'm going to do these ones kind of in rapid succession here because I feel like people don't really care too much about these. I do have a bunch of Madden games. So, in order, I have Madden 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this one actually is Madden 10, it's not Madden 11. I should have 11 and 12, 13 and 15. John, why don't you have 14? You broke continuity. Now, first off, you know, I have Madden 16, but not 17, but I also have Madden 25, which is Madden 14. Technically, you know, it's Madden 25 or Madden NFL 25, 1989 to 2014, celebrating the 25th anniversary. And then we have Mass Effect, Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3. We're not done yet. I actually have to reach behind the camera to finish this. You see what I mean now with like how many of these Xbox 360 games we got to deal with. Okay, Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, which is Sons of Liberty, Snake Eater, and Peace Walker. We got Michael Jackson, The Experience for Kinect. I actually do remember playing that. It wasn't half bad of a Just Dance ripoff. We got Minecraft Story Mode and Minecraft Story Mode Season 2. Unfortunately, because of Telltale Games, these two are pretty much kind of a waste of space. Well, you know what? I think you can get the first episode, but then you have to download the rest, and you can't download the rest. Only the Switch version, as I've mentioned in an earlier video. We have Minecraft Xbox 360 edition, the classic console edition, of course. We have NASCAR 09. Let's see, this is the NPPL Championship Paintball 2009. Real good one, Portal 2. You might ask, is Portal 1 on Xbox? We're getting there, don't worry. We have Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Yeah, Red Dead Redemption, for some reason, someone cut off a bunch of the tabs on the side. I really don't understand why. It boggles my mind why someone would take the effort to do that. It makes no sense. Resident Evil 5. We have The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim on 360, where I feel like it is also one of the most iconic platforms to have it on. The Orange Box, which was a collection released by Valve, which, as mentioned kind of earlier, includes Portal, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, and Team Fortress 2. This thing is actually one of the more expensive 360 games as of now. Which I guess makes sense. Having Portal and Half-Life 2 is pretty cool. And Team Fortress 2, I think the servers are down for it, but also a cool relic to have. And then Tomb Raider. I could have sworn I had Rise of the Tomb Raider. Maybe I have that on Xbox One, which we will figure out right now. So for the sake of getting this video done, I figured I'm just going to hammer out all two remaining Xbox generations left. You can already kind of see what I'm planning right here, but I mean, that was kind of obvious with what I just stated to begin with. So let's start first with the Xbox One. This is the One X model, the most powerful of the, what is this, the 8th generation, 9th generation? What are we even on at this point? I'm not sure. This was the first non-Nintendo console I ever bought, so it does hold a pretty special place in my heart because of that. Let's see what games I got for it. We can start with Battlefield 1, Revolution, Battlefield 5. I remember people getting up in arms against this because there's a female main character, as if this wasn't an actual story based on again a true experience in the Norwegian resistance or something like that. People will constantly be bitching about that. Stay mad, I guess. It's a good game. We got Borderlands 3 and Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Again, good game, especially the zombies mode. I really enjoyed that. I mean, what else do you play COD for, right? Call of Duty World War II. We have Cyberpunk 2077. I believe this is a version that just comes with a bunch of art. Very cool. We have Destiny: The Taken King. I believe that's just the name of a DLC, though. That's not the actual, not the actual game itself. And then, of course, following that, we have Destiny 2. I'm curious as to whether or not these are still active. Maybe I should boot it up and try. We have Doom 2016. I mean, it's just called Doom, but it's the 2016 remake. We have Forza Horizon 3, and if I'm correct, this will be Forza Horizon 4. Yep. Now, another GameStop game, Friday the 13th. US edition. Why does it say US edition? What other edition would it be? Weird. Yeah, it is just Friday the 13th, the game. We have Gears of War 4. And this should be Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which I believe is just the first game remastered. We have Gears 5. Don't know why they didn't call it Gears of War 5, but nope, it's just Gears 5. We have Halo 5 Guardians. I think the most hated Halo game of the bunch, and I can honestly see why. Now, much less hated is Halo the Master Chief Collection, which included, I'm pretty sure, all Xbox 360 versions. So like Halo, Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo... okay, hold on. So Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo Anniversary, Halo 3, and Halo 4. And I guess it had access to the Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer beta. I could have sworn there was also access to Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST and Halo Reach. I could be wrong, because when I want to play those games, I just play them on 360. We have Halo Wars 2, which again was a strategy game, which to me makes it fun. We have Killer Instinct Definitive Edition. I swear to God, this game has not finished downloading on my Xbox One and refuses to continue downloading, and it will give me about 100 notifications every time I boot up anything on there that your Killer Instinct has stopped, even when you have it in the disc slot. But they do also have a digital soundtrack along with the actual game. Here we have Minecraft, and you'll notice this is in the style of Xbox Series X games when we get there. But this is, in fact, the Xbox One edition, and it is the Bedrock edition, which does mean we do have the Xbox One edition too. We also have Minecraft Story Mode, The Complete Adventure, which is the only version of the game which allows you to access all of Minecraft Story Mode Season 1. We have Minecraft Xbox One Edition, which is different, as I stated earlier, than Bedrock Edition. Let's see. Okay. So we have No Man's Sky. Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. And then Ori and the Will of the Wisps. One thing I was very happy about is that, the first game is Blind Forest, second game is Will of the Wisps. I didn't have to switch them up. They made it alphabetical for me, and I love them for that. Plants and Zombies Garden Warfare. We have Quantum Break, which is an Xbox One console exclusive. One that I've never played. Here we have a Rare Replay, a collection of old Rareware games, including Conker's Bad Fur Day somehow. But this actually does have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Oh, it says so right here. We discovered 30 hit games. I didn't have to count them all. But this is one of the best deals you could probably get right here, because it is 30 games in one. And then Resident Evil 2 Revelations. Rise of the Tomb Raider. I knew I had this game. Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think it is also on Xbox 360. I could be wrong, though. We have Jedi Fallen Order, or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I've been playing through that one again recently. Fucking fantastic. Star Wars Battlefront, not to be confused with Star Wars Battlefront. This is a remake, and a pretty good one at that. And what's really good is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll see Star Wars Battlefront 3, with all the people, or all the Star Wars fans really pushing play on Battlefront 2. Fingers crossed, because that series has always delivered. Maybe one of the most slept on console exclusives, Sunset Overdrive. This was made by Insomniac, who would later go on to make the Spider-Man games, and it really shows here. It's very Spider-Man-esque, but a damn good game. For anyone who gets the chance to play it, do it. Play it. We have the Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited, and of course it's new in box because I really didn't have a desire to play Elder Scrolls Online. We have Titanfall 2. I just want I had regular Titanfall 2. I had Titanfall 1 as well. Maybe that's the better way of putting it. Rainbow Six Siege. We've got Tom Clancy's The Division 2. Complete in box. And one of the first games I got was Wolfenstein: The New Order. A fantastic games. Who doesn't love brutally killing Nazis? Because that is the only way to deal with them. Now, for the newest generation of Xbox, let's start with the Series S, which isn't really all that powerful. I think it's less powerful in many ways than the One X was. It is digital only, which kind of bums me out. But this is the console I hope to have developer mode enabled on, because I, of course, as a computer scientist, want to develop things. And what better way to do that than on a console where I can't play any of my games. I do play all my games, however, on this beast, which is also massive, not as big as the PS5, but this is, of course, the Xbox Series X. Yeah, the Series X. Honestly, probably at this point, the one I've played the least of, like the Switch and the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles. But it's good. It's still a really good console, and I really enjoy the sleek design. Honestly, more than the PS5, I think. The PS5 has a really unique design, as you guys saw. A lot of people hate it. I don't hate it, but like, I don't know. Xbox makes sense. It's a box. Like it is. You can't get more box-like. And of course, that one actually has a disk drive, so I can show you all the games I have for that. We have, one more time, Among Us Crewmate Edition. Same as before. So yes, I do have it on every platform it released physically on. Back 4 Blood Ultimate Edition. Battlefield 2042, and I recall this game being very, very cheap, like maybe like $20, and that's how I justified picking it up. And you'll notice a lot of these, Xbox kind of had a crisis with how they were going to make their games. So like here we have an actual plastic title Xbox on here with a Series X sticker. Not every one of these games is going to have a sticker. And in fact, the next game I have, Crusader Kings 3, highlights the different design. They really haven't, at least they hadn't figured it out last year, so I don't know if they've figured it out yet. Here we have Diablo 4, the cross-gen bundle. We have Disco Elysium, the final cut, courtesy of a friend of mine. I've been playing through this one fairly recently. Very, very fun game. Very text-heavy, too. But I'm an adult. I should have to read. It's kind of like our civic duty, in my opinion, that we should be well-informed about things. And you can't be well-informed about things if you're illiterate. So get on those text-heavy games, because reading is good for you. Got Elden Ring. We've got Evil Dead, the game. You'll notice a lot of these are Xbox Series X and Xbox One. They're cross-compatible. I think they've pretty much stopped that, but a lot of these games are, because I bought most of these in the first couple of years of the Series X. So again, like Forza Horizon 5. and then Goat Simulator 3. I'm not sure why this game was Series X exclusive, but, you know, I enjoyed the original, and I sure as hell enjoyed this one, too. Halo Infinite, which is still getting a lot of shit, which is unfortunate. It was a really fun game. I assume it's mostly because they're milking multiplayer, and they're not even doing a good job of that, but everything else about it was fun. So we have Hogwarts Legacy Deluxe Edition. Now, some of you might say, but John, J.K. Rowling is a transphobe and a piece of shit. And you're absolutely right. But I wanted to play the game, and it was a damn good game anyways. I don't feel bad about buying it. So, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. And yet again, you can see the change in like the Xbox Series X logo. Instead of being the logo, it's the text now, and there's no text over here. They clearly still haven't gotten that, because this is my most recent Series X game. Also a very good game. And it looks like, oh, it is Bethesda, that's right. We got It Takes Two, phenomenal game. I mean, it won Game of the Year for a reason. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, also a phenomenal game. I don't know if it can beat the complete saga for the whole nostalgia factor, but, you know, that's just me and them. Microsoft Flight Simulator. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Pac-Man World Repack, which is, of course, the remade version. And it was pretty good. I remember playing this back in 2023. I have nothing to complain about. Something I could complain about, though, is Redfall, a game by Bethesda that flopped horribly, and for pretty good reason. So I'm not going to complain about it, because I think people have already, no pun intended, buried it 6 feet under, and for good reason. We have Resident Evil Village, or as the title might make you think, Village Resident Evil. I'm very sarcastic about these things, because I think that if you have a bad title, then you're not selling your product well, clearly. Starfield. This one I haven't gotten really far into, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself for that. And finally, something I haven't even touched at all yet, Jedi Survivor, or Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Why haven't I touched this? I'm a huge Star Wars fan, because I haven't beaten the prequel, which is, of course, Fallen Order. So yeah, that's why I'm replaying it, because I need to beat it in order to start this game. Well, I don't need to, but I think it's much smarter to. And that's it. That's I mean, compared to where I was at, I think, what, 2 years ago when I did this, maybe even 3, it's going to be a pretty big change. But, you know, the more things change, the more things stay the same. I think a lot of these core games were still in my collection the last time I did this. I think I will keep doing this as long as I'm able. Naturally, I'm not going anywhere in terms of like actual videos. I'm gonna hopefully start uploading more, and especially more short form content, because that's how you get views nowadays. But look forward to the future. There will be more Duck of the Stars content, both in terms of game collecting and in terms of Hearts of Iron. Believe me, I'm working on it. I do have one video ready, and I'm hopefully working on another maybe next week. We'll see. But I digress. This is my game collection as of now. It will be my game collection for a while, because I don't know where life's taking me next. I have an idea where I'd like to go next, but plans change. I don't know 100% if I can make it there yet. I do know if I do go to the place I want to go to, I can't take a lot of this with me. Not immediately anyways, which means that this will be the last time I can really show my collection in full for a long time. Now, a long time is very subjective, and I use it subjectively because, it could be next year, it could be in 3 years, it could be in 7 years, who knows? But I figured I'd take this opportunity as I'm packing frantically to really show off I guess, really celebrate the life that I'm leaving behind here. You know, no matter what happens to me, these games will still be a part of my heart. Yeah, they will, kitten. Well, you're not going anywhere. She won't be going anywhere. Well, she'll be going wherever I go. But you know, these games, they were a massive part of my life for a long time, and they have a very significant meaning. You know, I believe them to be works of art. So, you know, I wanted to take this time to celebrate the version of me that's fading into obscurity as I take my next great step into life. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.